The Cervelo S5, one of the most recognizable road bikes out on the market today, one of the most sought after road bikes as well, is been due for a revamp for a very long time, and it seems like we're going to get one this year. The bicycle has been out on the market, I think it came out around 2020 or 2019, and it stood out with its out front shape, their V-shaped handlebars, their redesigned rear wheel as well, and their pretty chunky down tube. The bicycle was ridden by Team Jumbo-Visma at the time and was dominating with Jonas Vingegaard, Wout van Aert, and also Sepp Kuss. The bicycle was definitely a bike that people loved, and then not only that, once it was revised, it dominated in wind tunnel testing, and it did a lot of things really, really well. So when it launched in 2019, I believe it had a shorter head tube, shorter BB area, and then once the UCI upgraded those rules to the 3-to-1 rule, where you're able to go ahead and make this head tube much deeper, and also the bottom rack area much thicker as well, the bicycle really did stand out. And then also it also helped that Jonas dominated in the Tour de France that year as well. But every single person that I know that has an S5 lives and breathes it. They say it's an absolute stiffness machine. It's a great aero bike. It holds its speed well, all this stuff. But then comes the question, what are they going to do next to this bicycle? Because when they updated it last time, they really didn't do a lot. They did some minimal things that made big differences, but it's not these once-in-a-lifetime change that makes you need to jump ship to buy that new bicycle. And it already stands out so much more. It's not that traditional road bike that they can drop the seat stays, they can add a V-shaped handlebar, which you're seeing a lot more companies do to be different, but they already did that. They have their different look handlebar on there. So what could they do more to this bicycle to give it the edge? Well, it seems over here on Cycling Spy Instagram, check out his channel on Instagram. He has a ton of first looks in terms of seeing these bicycles. I've heard rumors of this bike being a new one coming out for a while, obviously being in the industry and the dealers. I've talked to other bicycle stores, and I've heard rumors of this bicycle store. I've heard rumors of this bike coming out. I didn't know when, but obviously it was due in that 3-year cycle span for bicycle lives. But it seems here, Visma released the bike, is test riding this bike out here, and you can already see right here to the left, the handlebar has changed. Also looking at it, it looks like their rear wheel is tucked in a lot more, and that front fork area is much deeper than what's on here now. You can see these front forks, not only do they take advantage of this frontal area being deeper, but these are pretty skinnier. So it looks like these front forks are much deeper. But again, I think they're following their same formula that they had before, which is take what they had, which is a really good bike, and then make those revisions to it just to make it a little bit more better. Probably I'm going to assume that it's going to be UDH compatible. It looks like they also have some thicker seat stays on here because these are a little bit skinnier, but it has the same kind of tucked in wheel. We can maybe assume that's going to be very similar geometries as well. I like the Cervelo S5 from a standpoint of how it looks aesthetically, but when I really get to the nitty gritty of it, this top tube, when it's flat, it looks so long to me, almost like a limo. Like, it doesn't look like a traditional bike. It looks just like, it looks so weird to me, especially like when Wout has his 130 stem on there. It's such a long bike that it looks so weird. Even though people fit on it and the geometry is exactly the same, it just looks really weird. But they have these spot images. There's another photo here of an up close to the handlebar, really, which seems to be the change of it. And for a lot of people that don't know, the front of the bike is what gets hit by the wind the most. And you see a lot of companies focusing on that handlebar, the head tube, and the fork area because that is where majority of the wind first hits, and that is what gives the most aerodynamic benefit to a bicycle. We saw this with the SL7 go to the SL8. Majority of those aerodynamic gains that they got was from that one-piece bar and stem cockpit. Companies are making that front fork much wider now to help with aerodynamics as well. In the back end of the bike, they're trying to make it a little bit more compliant with skinnier seat stays, skinnier tubing. So maybe we could also see with this seat tube being a little bit wider. That looks about the same width as well. But I'm sure there's going to be some improvements on comfortability as well. Going a little bit closer, we have this appalling photo of Jonas over here with damn toe covers on and what looks to be a tri-suit, which is the craziest looking training gear with ankle socks on. But hey, you know, he can drop me on a bike, so I guess we'll do whatever you want to do. But you can see also right here an up close video or view of that new handlebar as well. It doesn't seem to have a lot of changes to it aesthetically speaking. I think this looks much better, but hopefully they'll come in more narrower sizes. I know that there weren't as many narrow options for the S5. And then this is another up close look of it as well, which seems to be a massive front fork in this area. Probably will still have that 35mm tire clearance. Look at that asymmetric fork in there. That looks super wide. That looks super shallow. It could just be the angle of it. But I'm assuming I would love for them to still keep that 35C tire clearance on there as well, because of the fact that everyone's choosing for those wider tire clearances. He also gives you some photos of what the old S5 used to look like, or the current S5 looks like as well, just for reference. Really skinny forks in that different bar as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for this. I've told you guys in the other kind of campy spy video, I think there's going to be a ton of new products releasing this year. Does that mean you need it? No. But it gives you guys a ton of different options. And whenever companies push for this, like if Cervelo pushes out and they say this aero bike is the most aerodynamic bike on the market, you know some other company is going to go after that realm and go ahead and try to regain that on there. But I'm assuming that they're going to stick with the BSA bottom bracket. Probably, I mean, I would love to see what this down tube looks like. Maybe they're you're seeing the Y1RS, and a lot of companies kind of go with that Pinarello-esque down tube where it has like that step down, like, so man, my head's in the way. Great. Yeah, great. Yeah, my head's in the way. Great. Yeah, great. Right here. Maybe they're going to implement that in the new looking bike as well. But yeah, we're almost getting to a point where we're hitting these pinnacles. We're hitting a plateau of how much differences you can make to a bike. And UCI rules are in place. Everyone's already taking advantage of all these UCI rules. So how much more aerodynamics can you squeeze out of a bicycle? It still needs to maintain 2 triangles in the rear stay and the front triangle. But there's only so much you can do without compromising something to the bike. You could just, so unless UCI gives up and they lower the weight limit or they make it to where you can have a crazy aerodynamic bike, I think we're going to start hitting some plateaus, and there's going to be less and less changes and just more and more critiques. And they're not going to be these flagship launches that everyone's always crazy about. And we're also starting to see companies kind of hold off that 3-year cycle and maybe push it to 4.5-year cycle, because it's so marginal and so minimal that it's tough. It's tough for them to keep up. But let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of people are going to be excited for this bike because of the popularity of this bike. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of people upgrading. I'm sure there's going to be that first hesitant group of people being like, I don't need it. It doesn't look that much. I don't need it. But as soon as Visma Lisa bike gets out there, as soon as the Grand Tours get out there, as soon as people start winning on that bike, it all falls. People fold. They buy the bike right away because of the fact that they're like, damn, that guy's riding like that? Because of that bike? Not because of the rider? That bike's making him win? I need that bike. I need that bike. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys hyped for the new S5? Whenever it launches, I'm going to get my hands on it. I'm going to give you guys a real world weight. I've been working out my arms so that way the scale doesn't shake anymore. And you guys can count on me to give you guys all the details. Subscribe, like the video. I'll see you guys next one.